Have you ever wondered why some people can say just a few words and instantly grab a room's full attention? What if I told you someone once gave an 18-minute talk and walked off stage with $1 million in donations? No slides, no props, just their voice.
That actually happened. And it's not a fluke. The best TED speakers know something most people don't: how to share ideas in a way that sticks, inspires, and moves people to action.
Today, we're tapping into Talk Like TED by Carmine Gallo. It's not just about giving speeches. It's about how to communicate like your words actually matter.
Because they do. Whether you're pitching an idea, leading a meeting, teaching a class, or just trying to not bore your friends to death on Zoom, these techniques can change how people hear you.
This isn't another public speaking 101 thing. No bullet points, no cheesy acronyms, and definitely no imagine your audience in their underwear.
Instead, we're unpacking what the world's best speakers do differently and how you can steal those moves for yourself.
We'll break down why passion is more important than polish, how stories hijack your brain in the best way, and why one unforgettable moment can make or break your message.
One of the most unexpected examples in the book is when a speaker delivered their entire talk on a treadmill. It wasn't a gimmick. It was tied directly to their message about movement and brain health. That physical presence made the talk impossible to ignore.
So whether you love being on stage or would rather hide under it, this episode is for you. Welcome to Tap the Vault, where we dig into one book that can help you level up your life without the fluff.
And today, we're learning how to talk like TED. Let's get into it.
All right, Ray, let's start with the big one, passion. The book makes a pretty bold claim. If you're not fired up about your topic, no one else will be either.
Exactly. Gallo calls this unlocking the master within. It's not about being perfect. It's about speaking from a place of genuine interest or experience. That's what pulls people in.
Okay, but let's be real. Most of us are giving presentations on quarterly reports or a slide deck our manager made. Not exactly TED Talk material.
That's the trap. The great speakers in this book don't just talk about their job, they talk about why it matters to them. One speaker wasn't passionate about prosthetics. She was passionate about human potential. Huge difference.
So it's less what you do and more why you care. That makes it personal, which I guess makes it powerful.
Right? And audiences pick up on that. There's actual brain science behind it. When you speak with real enthusiasm, it lights up emotional centers in the listener's brain. Passion is contagious.
That reminds me, Gallo talks about how Steve Jobs would rehearse relentlessly but never sounded robotic. It's because he genuinely loved what he was talking about. He wasn't just launching a product. He was sharing something he believed would change the world.
Exactly. Passion doesn't replace preparation, but it makes your preparation come alive.
I like that. So even if I'm presenting on something dry, if I connect it to something I actually care about, I've got a shot at being interesting. Maybe instead of Q4 performance, I should title my deck, The Thrilling Tale of How Our Budget Survived, Barely.
You've got more than a shot. You've got a connection. That's what makes people listen.
All right, so passion gets people to care. But what actually makes them remember what you said? Because let's be honest, most presentations are forgettable by lunch.
That's where storytelling comes in. The best TED speakers use stories to frame their ideas, not just because it's entertaining, but because stories literally help people's brains hold on to the message.
Okay, but we're not all natural storytellers. Some of us just want to get to the point without the long backstory about our childhood hamster.
Fair point, but you don't need a dramatic life story to make it work. A simple personal experience, a customer moment, or even a challenge you faced, those are all stories. The key is they make the idea feel real.
So if I say this product improves efficiency by 27%, that's a stat. But if I say last week a customer used this and saved hours of work in a single afternoon, that's a story?
Exactly. The brain treats those two things differently. Data triggers logic, but stories, they light up multiple regions. Emotion, memory, even motor function. That's why you remember a good story more than a slide full of bullet points.
Gallo mentions one speaker who used a story about her daughter to explain a breakthrough in autism research. It wasn't just informative, it was deeply personal, and it made a complex topic instantly relatable.
That's a great example. When you make your idea part of a human experience, it moves from abstract to memorable.
Hey, by the way, for you listening, yes, you. If you're enjoying this episode, go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss what we dig into our next podcast.
And remember to tap the bell as well.
So Ray, you are telling me storytelling isn't fluff. It's actually a smarter way to deliver facts.
It's strategic. Stories carry your ideas into someone else's memory, and they stay there.
All right, Ray, let's talk about the moments people don't forget, the jaw droppers. Because TED Talks always seem to have that one part everyone keeps quoting or replaying.
That's intentional. The book highlights how top speakers design those moments on purpose. They're not random, they're crafted to surprise or emotionally jolt the audience and make the message unforgettable.
You're telling me Bill Gates didn't accidentally release mosquitoes into the room?
Not even close. That was calculated. He wanted people to feel what it's like to care about malaria. The moment was unexpected, a little shocking, and totally unforgettable. That's the formula.
So this isn't about stunts for the sake of being flashy. It's about reinforcing the core idea in a way that hits.
Exactly. Another speaker brought an actual human brain on stage to talk about neuroscience. It sounds extreme, but it made the abstract feel real. That's the point. Make your message visceral.
And if props aren't your thing, Gallo points out how a speaker once used complete silence. Just paused mid-sentence. The room held its breath. No visuals, no theatrics, just timing. That pause became the moment everyone remembered.
Right. Silence can be just as powerful as sound. Sometimes the drop the mic moment isn't something you do. It's what you don't say.
Okay, so what does that look like for the rest of us? I'm not releasing bugs in my next team meeting.
You don't have to. A jaw-dropping moment could be a powerful question, a bold statement, or a surprising image. It's anything that gets your audience to pause, react, and remember what you just said.
So let's talk about delivery, because a lot of people hear public speaking and think they have to turn into some over-polished stage robot. Is that what TED speakers are actually doing?
Not at all. One of the biggest lessons from the book is that the best talks come from people who sound like themselves. They're polished, yes, but they're also real. Authenticity beats perfection.
So I don't have to talk with hand gestures like I'm in a TED audition?
Please don't. The speakers who stand out are the ones who lean into their natural style. Like Temple Grandin, she's direct, no frills, and completely herself. That's what makes her memorable and trustworthy.
That's good to hear, because I've definitely tried to mimic other speakers before, and it just felt off. Like wearing someone else's clothes.
Exactly. The book points out that when you imitate someone else's style, the audience senses the disconnect. But when you speak in your own voice, quirks and all, it builds credibility.
I think there's this pressure to perform. Like if you're not flashy, you're failing. But the book flips that.
It does. It reminds us that trust and connection come from being genuine. The audience isn't looking for perfection. They're looking for someone who means what they say.
So even if I'm a little awkward or don't have the slickest delivery, I can still be effective?
Absolutely. If you know your message, care about it, and show up as yourself, you're already ahead of most speakers.
All right, Ray, here's the part I've been dreading. Practice, because I'll be honest, I usually wing it and pray for the best.
And you're not alone. A lot of people think practicing makes them sound stiff or over-rehearsed, but Gallo flips that. The best TED speakers, they practice a lot. The difference is they don't sound like it.
Right, because when Steve Jobs took the stage, he seemed casual, like he was just having a conversation with the audience, but he reportedly rehearsed for hours, every gesture, every pause, every slide.
Exactly. The goal isn't to memorize, it's to internalize. You want your message so clear in your head that it frees you up to be fully present.
Okay, but what does that look like for a normal human? Like, I'm not renting out a stage to rehearse for my Thursday check-in.
You don't have to. One tip from the book is to record yourself on your phone and listen back. That way you catch your pacing, tone, filler words, stuff you'd never notice in real time.
I tried that once and cringed so hard I deleted it before the first minute ended.
And that's exactly why it works. Rehearsal is where you work out the rough edges so you don't dump them on your audience. It's not about polishing you, it's about polishing your delivery.
So it's like editing a draft before you publish it?
Totally. No one writes a final draft on the first try. Same with speaking. You want to sound natural, not like you're searching for your lines mid-sentence.
I like that. So practice isn't just about repetition. It's about clarity, flow, timing, making sure the story lands.
Exactly. It builds confidence without killing spontaneity. The better you know your material, the more room you have to connect with the audience instead of scrambling for your next line.
All right, you've convinced me. I won't just wing it next time. I'll semi-wing it with preparation underneath.
Hey, that's already a win.
All right, before we bounce, let's hit the vault keys. 5 things to lock in.
1. Lead with passion. If you're not fired up, no one else will be.
2. Spark curiosity. A bold question or unexpected visual makes people lean in.
3, create a moment, a pause, a prop, a bold visual, something people remember.
4, be yourself. Authentic, perfect. Your quirks build trust.
5, practice with purpose. Rehearse until it feels real, not robotic.
That's the playbook. Fast, sharp, unforgettable. But let's make it real. Ray, what's one thing someone listening can actually try today?
Start with a story. That's the easiest entry point. Whether you're at work, with friends, or even sending a voice note, try using a quick personal story to frame your point.
So next time I'm trying to convince my team that my idea is actually worth trying, I should lead with, here's what happened last week, instead of launching into a pitch.
Exactly. Lead with something real and layer in passion. Don't hide what lights you up. That energy is what people respond to. Add one memorable detail and now you've got something sticky.
That reminds me, Gallo talks about how one speaker opened their talk by holding up a single drop of water and saying, "This is the future." It was simple, unexpected, and everyone leaned in. No slideshow needed.
Right. And it worked because it created curiosity. A strong visual, even a small one, can anchor your message in people's minds. That's what makes it TED-worthy, clarity wrapped in something unforgettable.
It's funny, none of this feels out of reach. It's just stuff we don't usually think to do in a presentation. But once you know what works, you can't unsee it.
That's the magic of this book. It gives you a toolkit you can use in any conversation that matters, whether you're on a stage or just speaking up in a meeting.
So if you've got an idea worth sharing, and let's be real, you probably do, it deserves more than bullet points and filler words.
It deserves your voice. Real, passionate, and unforgettable, because when you talk like Ted, people actually listen. If this episode gave you something useful, make sure to hit the like button, drop a quick comment, and share the episode with one friend you care about, someone who's got an idea worth hearing too and who can benefit from it. Thanks again for watching and see you next time.